Today on Pro Church Daily, we're talking about the 3 duties that every church website must fulfill.
Well, hey there, and welcome to Pro Church Daily, the show where in 10 minutes or less, you'll get your daily dose of tips and tactics to help your church share the message of Jesus while we navigate the biggest communication shift we've seen in the last 500 years. I'm your host, Alex Mills, and I'm joined, as always, by the boss man. It's Brady Shearer. And today, we're talking about the 3 duties every church website has to fulfill.
I think the importance of a church website cannot be overstated. And I also think it can be confusing knowing truly what your website is meant to do, what it should be accomplishing.
Yeah.
So we wanted to distill everything that your website does and aims to do into what I call the holy trinity of church website design. And I hope
Not
that isn't
sacrilegious
too
at all.
blasphemous
Yeah.
or anything like that. If it is, well, it's too late now. The 3 core duties that your church website must fulfill if you want to succeed and have a website that's doing what it's meant to do. The first is that, and this is the most important of the 3, the primary duty is make a good first impression.
Of course.
It is insane how quickly first impressions are made. And it does seem kind of silly when you think about meeting someone for the first time, and in that moment, you are going to decide everything about that person. And they happen extremely fast. And they happen fast online as well. A first impression online, and this comes from Google, happens within 0.05 seconds.
That's just insane.
So just milliseconds, a first impression has already been made. And then about 2.5 seconds after that, a viewer's eyes fully concentrate on the website. And the first impression they've already made just becomes reinforced.
Yeah.
That's how quickly a first impression is being made. So how do we make a good first impression with our website? Well, Google did this really great study where they looked at the types of websites that users best interacted with, the ones that they liked the absolute most. And what they found was websites with low visual complexity were perceived as the most appealing. So ones that were very easy to navigate.
Yeah.
And in Google's own words, they said, users strongly prefer website designs that look both simple and familiar. And this, unfortunately, is an indictment on many church websites.
Yeah,
we try to
absolutely.
do so much. This is what makes sliders so egregious,
Yeah.
their use on websites, is that you want to be simple and familiar. It's also why you don't need to be original with your website.
Yeah.
You want something that a user is familiar with. That's how you make a good first impression. Remember, first impressions are happening within milliseconds. And interestingly, 94% of an overall first impression is made with the design. Not the usability, not the words,
Not the
not the
content,
messaging, the design.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times what people say about the first impression and what they say they're evaluating on is not what they're evaluating on at all.
Right.
0.05 seconds, 94% design related. Users strongly prefer designs that are simple
Yeah.
and familiar. Now, we did a case study that you can read. It's about 4,000 words, incredibly extensive, blog.nucleus.church. You can read through the entire case study. We looked at more than 1,000 church websites and found that 96.2% of the websites we analyzed failed our very simple and basic, rudimentary 5-part first impression
Like
test.
fundamental basics about what a good website should be.
And 8 out of every 10 church websites failed more than one part.
Yeah.
So the test wasn't super hard. 96% of our websites are making a bad first impression. And this is why we built the Nucleus framework.
Right.
It is built on the data we have on how to make a great first impression. It's the most important duty that your church has and is responsible for. And most of our websites are failing this.
Yeah.
Even though, we're using something like a Squarespace or a WordPress or an agency that we're paying money to, it should work, and yet it's not.
Right.
And the case study is what really revealed that. So you got to make a great first impression, and that is what the primary responsibility is for your church's website. Beyond that, there are others. The second is to provide helpful information and next steps.
Yeah.
So this would be like the main content of your website. A lot of churches don't think about a first impression. A lot of churches do think about this. This is from Dwayne Forrester, the senior project manager at Bing. He said, your goal, pertaining to your website, should be that when a visitor lands on your page, the content answers all of their needs and encourages their next action to remain with you. This is the purpose of your website, the second core responsibility. Answer a user's questions and encourage them to take a next step. So they don't just see something and then leave, but they actually take action. There is a response. So this could be someone looking as a new visitor for service times, address, phone number, contact info. It could be an existing member of your congregation looking to sign up for a small group, give, look at the calendar, listen to a sermon, watch a message. This is why within the Nucleus framework, we have these single-click templates, which allow you instantly, with just the click of a button, to create an entire page on your website with copy and image placeholders and forms and the full framework, exactly how we would structure a page.
Yeah.
So if you were putting together, let's say, an I'm new page that answered information and encouraged a next step for a new visitor, you could make that in just one click using a Nucleus single-click template.
Right.
Finally, the third responsibility that your church must fulfill, the third duty, is rank as high as possible in search engines. Every day, people in your community are searching for a church. They're searching for hope and community and purpose. And instead of checking out a local service in person, they're starting that search online.
Of course.
And so if you want to be discovered in 2018 and beyond, your website needs to rank as high as possible in search. And one metric that search engines pay big attention to is this metric called dwell time. And again, this comes from Dwayne Forrester, the senior project manager at Bing. He had this to say about dwell time. The time between when a user clicks on our search result in Bing and when they come back from your website tells a potential story. A minute or two is good because that can easily indicate the visitor consumed your content. Less than a couple of seconds can be viewed as a poor result. Interestingly, that's about Bing. Let's talk about Google. The average dwell time for a top 10 Google result is 3 minutes and 10 seconds. And to define dwell time, I just realized I overlooked that. It's basically how long someone's actually spending on your website once they leave the search engine. So think about this. If someone went onto Google and searched church in Fargo, and they clicked on the first link, stayed there for 3 seconds, and then hit the back button.
Yeah, it's not good.
Hypothetical situation number 2. Hypothetical situation number 1, I guess I inverse those.
Perfect.
Someone searches church in Fargo, clicks on the third result, let's say. They spend, instead of 3 seconds, 3 minutes on that page. Which do you think signals a more positive response to the search engine?
Yeah, of course.
Of course, the 3 minutes, more time spent, leads to higher search engine rankings. Bing has come out and said that, just straight out, Google notoriously hidden and covert with their signal rankings for the Google search engine. They've even said this and come out and said, dwell time is important. Search engines, they want to provide the best possible experience for their users, and dwell time is one of the key indicators for that. So the 3 responsibilities, duties your church must fulfill if you want your website to succeed. Number 1, make a good first impression, most important. Number 2, provide helpful information and next steps. And number 3, rank as high as possible in search engines.
You know, this third one, when it comes to search engine optimization, SEO, and ranking in Google, can seem daunting to people, especially people who aren't familiar with, how to create a website or the back end stuff. But I really love these 3 duties because if you fulfill the first 2, if you can capture someone's attention within the first second or a few seconds with great design, and then answer their questions with good content, then they're going to stay on your site. That's going to translate into a good dwell time, and organically you'll perform better in search engines. So it's not as hard as we think it is or complicated. Just prioritize those first 2. Get people staying on your site, and then deliver the content, answer their questions, give them an opportunity to take that next step, and the rest of it will fall into place.
That'll do it for today's episode of Pro Church Daily. But speaking of pages on your website and improving them, we've got this free download that we want you to get your hands on if you haven't already. The place to get it is prochurchtools.com/nucleus, and it's 7 proven page templates for your church's website. Pre-written copy, the exact structure and framework that we would suggest for these important pages on your website. One of the pages out of the 7 that's included is a 7-step formula page for your kids ministry.
Nice.
So much of attending a church for the first time is what's there for my kids.
Yeah, for sure.
There's 7 key items that your kids ministry page needs to include. We've got pre-written copy.
It's all there.
You can copy and paste directly onto your page, follow the 7-step framework, and you're good to go.
Of
course, if you're using Nucleus, you could just create that page in one click. But in the meantime,
that sounds easy enough.
Get that download, prochurchtools.com/nucleus. It's 100% free. Thanks for watching today's episode of Pro Church Daily. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey, thanks for watching today's episode of Pro Church Daily. Make sure you turn on notifications for this channel so you never miss another video, and subscribe as well.
And if you like this video, it'd mean the world to us if you give it a thumbs up.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.